Hello, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to welcome to Simply Stamping Sunday. I think I was a little more hopeful there that it was still Friday night instead of a Saturday night, but welcome everyone. Today is week 5 of using the Regal Floral stamp set and Simply Said stamp set. I'm glad we had 5 weeks this month to be able to share, that I've been able to share this particular stamp set. I really have enjoyed using it this month and sharing it with you this month. We have created a lot, and tonight we are going to create even more. So let's get started. I do have a little bit of show and tell. I haven't done much stamping this weekend because I had my flu shot and COVID shot on Friday and got really sick yesterday. I still wasn't feeling 100% this morning, but I am doing fine now. But I didn't do a lot of stamping this weekend, but I did make some Christmas cards, some Christmas tags. So here's the first one. I used the Snowy Winter stamp set and made these just adorable little tags. Just share them with you. I just love how they came out, and they're a really fun set to use. Okay, I'm just trying to find what I did with my mouse so I can refresh my computer screen and make sure everything's lined up. So if you'll just give me a moment and see where it went. Oh, I see where it went. Let me just grab it. There we go. Now I'm all set to get started. So I hope you enjoyed those tags. I had fun making them, and if you look carefully on my page, you might even see a way to get the directions for free on how to make these. Okay, so let's get started. So tonight it's all about making cards with a template. So I am going to put this out, and I will take a picture of this and add it to the comments, but I'm not sure how to do that on how to add a picture on YouTube. So I'm just going to put this out here for a second. This is a template from Karen Titus. I did not make this. This is her double one-sheet wonder template. And what you do is you take 2 sheets of coordinating 6x12 cardstock, and you cut it into 3 4-inch by 6-inch sections, and then you take one section and cut them into 1-inch pieces. In the second section you cut a 3/4 inch piece off, and then cut out 4 1-inch sections, and then on the last piece you cut 2 4 by 2.5 pieces and 2 4 by 1/2 pieces. So this is the template we're going to use tonight to create 9 different cards. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards, using all the same paper, doing a little bit of stamping and creating these cards. So let's get started. So I am not going to go over every little piece of every single measurement. I'll go over the important ones because everything is going to be in the comments, all of the measurements. So you are going to need your 9 card bases. For tonight, for my 9 that I'm using, I have Pretty in Peacock. I am using basic white thick. I'm using Cherry Cobbler, And I think that's it. Yes, it is. So those are the 3 colors I'm using, and those all measure 5.5 by 8.5. I also have, for the pieces that need it, I have 4 by 5.25 pieces of basic white cardstock to go on the inside. And then what I've already done to make it go a little quicker, I have stamped all the greetings for everything and trimmed them, cut them out, and did all of that stuff. So let's do our cutting right now. So I'm using, as I said, 2 pieces of 6 by 12 designer series paper. And what this does, so you can see the 2 patterns that I'm using, what this does is gives us 4 different sides of designer series paper that we can use. So when I chose this one, I decided I wanted to pull the peacock greens out and the purples out. So that's how I ended up with these 2 pieces of cardstock, because the backs have those colors as well. So let's get cutting. I'm going to cut both of these at the same time, and I am going to keep them together. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces at 4 inches. So there's 1 4 by 6, making sure they're staying together. There's 2 4 by 6, and then I have my 3rd one right over here. All right. So with my first one, I'm just going to be cutting these into 1 inch pieces. So I am going to have 6 of them when I'm done, because this is, so they will measure 4 by 1 inch. So I'm going to cut them together and just bring them down here. I will also put in the description today the link where I got Karen's template. So if you want to go to her original post to see that. Okay, these are my pieces that all measure 4 inches by 1 inch. So I'm going to put this aside. And then I'm going to take my second piece of 4 inch paper, and I'm going to cut 3/4 of an inch off the bottom. So there's those 2 pieces. And then I'm going to cut these into 1 inch strips as well. But these will measure 1 inch by 5 1/4. This is the perfect designer series paper to do this with, because the patterns are just so gorgeous, and I love them. And so it really makes for a nice, beautiful set of cards. Okay, there are our pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1. All right, and then finally, our last one, we are going to cut off a 2.5 inch piece. Another 2.5 inch piece. And then we have 1 inch left, and we're going to cut this into 1/2 inch pieces. So let me just make sure those are lined up again and put them on the 1/2 inch mark. There we go. Okay, we've got all of our cutting done. Now it's time to start putting our cards together. So let's see where we want to start. I think we'll start with those 4 by 1 inch card, those pieces, and we're going to be making 3 of those. So I'm going to need my piece of cherry cobbler, pretty peacock, and basic white. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my bone folder, and I'm going to crease each and have it right in, folded right in the middle. So for this one, I am going to take 2 pieces of each. There we go. And I am going to just attach these to the front of the card. This is a great technique to use if you need to make, you need a bunch of cards quickly. They can be for birthday cards, or maybe they're cards for thinking of you, or anything at all. Or if maybe you're making some cards to send to a friend as a gift. I often give people cards as a gift so that they have something on hand to send out. And so all I'm doing is adding these 1 by 4 inch pieces from the right side of the card to the left side of the card, and making my front of the card. So there's the first one all done. We just need to add our greeting. Then we're going to use on the white, we are going to use the purple and teal colors. So let's get 2 teal and 2 purple. So I'm using the same design this time. So I tried to make them all different as I was putting them together so that they wouldn't come out exactly the same. So this one, and then the next one, I'm going to use the 2 red designs. Purple's my favorite color, so it is hard to cover up all of this beautiful purple. I could have done just all purple if I wanted, or all red. Either way would have worked. It's whatever you like when you look at the designer series paper you're using, and you can use any designer series paper. So this is what the front of this one looks like. And now we'll go to our all red one. And on this one, we are going to use the last 4 that we made. And this time I'm going to use, as I said, both sides. One side will be the red pattern, and one side will be the multicolor pattern. And so we'll just add these in alternating form. The red just blends right in with the cherry cobbler cardstock, but it does look beautiful. I also could hold the card this way if I wanted to. So you also have that option, that you can hold it any way you would like. Okay, so this one is now done. So let's put on our greetings. So I already have put on the dimensionals. I didn't want this to turn out to be an hour-long video, so I hope you don't mind that I did some of the stamping and all of that ahead of time. So I'm just going to add that to the front, and there's our first card done. Okay, so the white one, I did a hello with using the pretty Peacock cardstock ink, and then I stamped in Blackberry Bliss a flower that I cut out, and I used the hello from the Simply Said. So there's our second card for tonight. And then on this one I used Thinking of You, and I stamped one of the little flowers in the Blackberry Bliss and stamped the Thinking of You in Blackberry Bliss. And then I mounted the white onto the piece of Blackberry Bliss. So just to get all these colors shown up in lots of areas of the card. Okay, there's our first 3 cards. Okay, let's get those out of the way. All right, the next set of cards I'm going to make are, let's go with the fun fold. I think that would be. So I have 4 different little fun folds. They are all exactly the same. I do need to do a little stamping on 2 of them. So I'm going to set these white ones aside, and what I'm going to be doing is using some Versamark ink and just stamping a background. Now, one of the things I can do if I want is I could attach this layer down, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. So I'm going to take the 2 pieces. So these are, I did score them at 1 1/4 inches. So I scored them, so I got my, oh, this one's kind of scored a little bit at an angle. So let's just get that where I want it. Okay, and this is going to fold back. There we go. And we'll score this one so they're all folded in half and then scored at 1 1/4 inches. So as I tell everyone on Friday nights when I'm doing Fun Fold Friday, anytime you have a fun fold, it's really important that you really crease your edges. Burnish them really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to just open these 2 back up, and I'm going to take the larger flower stamp. And if you haven't done this before, Versamark pad is a watermark pad. So it allows you to stamp subtly on the background. And when it dries, it just dries about a shade darker than the color of cardstock. So I'll hold this up. So I'm not sure in the lights if you can see this very well. See, it's just a little bit darker. And so when this is closed, you'll see that on that side. So let me do that with my other page as well. My other card, I mean. This is also a way, when you're using especially your photopolymer stamps, if you stamp them first with Versamark, you can prevent the ink from staining your stamp. Now, I don't usually worry about that too much, but I know some people don't like to get their stamps all stained from ink colors. Okay, we're going to be using this for one more card as well, but let's do this now. Okay, so the one thing I did forget to do on the other two cards I made, I need to put in some of the, I'll put the white cardstock in at the end. That's what we'll do. We'll do that at the end. So I won't worry about that right now. Except for these I'm going to have to because we're putting paper on it. So now we're taking the 1 and, so if you look here, we're taking those 1 5/4 inch of paper, and let me grab those. They're all here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so on get the red. So on this first one, I'm going to add a piece of one piece to the outer part. And then what I'm going to do is take the other piece with that pretty, it almost looks like it was stamped, just the red was stamped with the Versamark on it. The design is just so pretty. And I'm just going to be putting that right on the piece of paper. And I'm just going to trim this. It's just a little long. And then this is going to go on the inside of the card, so it will look like that. So let's get that in. And I can decide how close I want this to the inside to decide how big my border is. If I'm going to have a big border of white right here, or if I'm going to have a smaller border. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. We'll fill it in just a minute. On this one here, we're going to do, going to pull out that green from the pretty peacock. So I'm going to take another inside piece and I'm going to add that to the basic white that's going in. And that will go on the inside. So again, I can decide how far to bring it in to determine how big that white piece is going to be. And then I'm taking a piece of, this time using the other side like I did on the first one, adding that to the front of the card. And I think on this one, just to show you that difference, I'm going to put that piece down so it just opens. And this one I'll have open like this. And so these two pieces are going to get, the one with the green is going to get, the one that I left, that I sealed up, is going to get this piece. And I'm just going to add that with just some snail, but I'm only going to put it on one side so it doesn't stick on the other side. So there we have this, our next card, which is just a thanks card. And we'll move this one out of the way. And then on this one here that I'm keeping it, we are going to put the just a note and add 2 of the flowers to it. And I'm going to put this a little bit lower, and I'm just going to put this in the middle since I am not going to glue this down. So now we have the just a note, and it will open like that. Okay, so we'll put that one aside. And let's do the white ones now. Okay, so the 2 white ones are going to get, we're going to do, let me just, so we should have 4 pieces left. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces left. All right, so on one of them we will do the purple and this one, and we'll use the same hello tag. And on the other one, I think we'll use I think we'll go with this as well. And we will use I think we'll switch it. Go like that. Okay, there we go. So on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put one of the flaps down, and then so one flap down, and then this one on the way up. And then I'm going to add the birthday wishes, just right in the middle again. And there we go. We have our next kind of fun fold. That flap is down, and this one will keep up. And then we only have 2 more cards to make. This has gone by so quickly. Like I said, you can use any designer series paper you want on this 1 sheet or 2 sheet wonder. And you can have the cards positioned going vertically or sideways. It doesn't matter. That's up to you as well. So it looks so pretty. I'm so... Now I know it will take you longer to make these cards than it's taken me, because I've had a lot of things ready and set to go, but you'll find that it won't take too long. Okay, our final 2 cards are going to be these 2 cards here. And so I am going to be using this piece and this piece, and then this piece like this, and then I will be using, and I've got those 2 pieces left too. This one is going to have this go down the middle, and this one is going to have, no, I've got this one. So I'll have this one go down the middle for that one. Okay, so for this first card here, I'm going to have to do some stamping on the piece of green like I did before. And I am going to use the vine stamp for this one. And I'm just going to, again, stamp all over the Designer Series paper. Have the leaves going in all different ways. And again, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing from my vantage point on here, but let me hold this up. So again, you can see it works the same way that it did with the other, with the regular cardstock. So as it dries, it will just be a little bit, it'll just be that one shade darker. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to place these pieces So what I'm going to do, because I have that piece that's going to go in the middle, I am going to put this the way I want it. I know that it's going to have a white spot in the middle, but I'm going to take care of that. So I'm going to line these up, make sure that they're centered the way I want. And you can see I have that ugly white space in between, but we're going to cover up that ugly white space with this piece right here. So I'm going to line this up, and now we have this beautiful card, and I have and I put this on backwards. I put this on the wrong card, but that's okay. It'll still work. I was going to put this on the red one, but it will still work. So there's that card. So a little different than what it looks like on this card here, but that's okay. Then this one, I'm just going to change things around a little bit. So I am going to put this on the inside, but I'm going to use this for the top, and I think I'll just stamp it again like I did before. So these will be kind of similar. But I don't think I would like the purple on the red as much as I would like the purple on the white. So we are going to add this the way I want it to be added, and then I'll do the same with the bottom piece. I wonder, maybe I'll do, how would this look? I think that's how I'm going to do it, except I'm going to use the thicker piece. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to totally change this up from my first design. So I'm going to use the back side of both of these papers. Then I'm going to use this piece here with the flowers to go right in the middle. Well, I'm going to have to, that's not wide enough, so I'm going to have to use the thinner one, which is okay. You'll end up with just a little bit paper left over when you're done, that you can line the papers on the inside of your cards with that paper. I'll show you that in just a minute. So I'm going to add my greeting right here, and then we'll do that with our paper. We'll go back and add these pieces to the inside. And this piece can go right on the inside of this card. So there's card number 1 that was done. And let's start laying these out, and I'll just grab the ones that need something on the inside. So we have these 4 fun folds. That we made with the template. We have the 3 cards that still need some paper in it. And this one can take one of the pieces on the side. So we're going to use up every single piece of paper from. There we go. So we made 4 that look like this. And we've got one more piece of paper too to add. And then we made these final 2 for our 9 cards. So that's the end of the month for the Regal Florals and the Simply Said. I will be planning this week, October. I've got some ideas. I don't know if I want to go all Christmas or if I want to go in a different direction, but I'm going to be making up my mind as we go along. If you have a favorite stamp set that you'd love to see me incorporate into Simply Stamping Sunday, just go ahead and put that in the comments, and I will be happy to see what I can do about that. Thank you for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next week for whatever October brings us. And of course, I'll be back Friday night for a Fun Fold Friday. Have a great week, everyone. Good night.